Greetings from Treasure Island. Another wasted day in paradise as a multi-level pyramid scheme slave. And so today I've got a lot of various topics to talk about. The most, I think I'm going to start with the, once again, reiteration of the beauty shop. And we're not just talking about beauty shop as far as trying to improve thyself. We're actually talking about degradation, desecration beauty, which is a much more sinister and costly procedure. We're talking about total reconstructive plastic surgery here for the cost of Estee Lauder, literally. I mean, that's basically what I am. Reconstructive plastic surgery, permanent, because I am a permanent slave. The marble statue slave beauty shop, plastic reconstructive surgery for any flaw, and that's the math that's involved. Anything that's wrong for these sacred, almighty gods of the symbiosis matrix blood drip isn't rectified because in actuality, they are infallible, and the system alarms are then relegated insignificant because of the infallibility of the symbiosis. If that makes any plausible sense. To, yeah. Thomas Paine, common sense. That's it. That's it. So, the Psycho Slave Beauty Shop. And I'm wearing, once again, on sale at Target. See me, t-shirt. Rather than, that's the joke of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome and the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. Armani, Versace, that I am a Christian Dior, Dio. Oh yeah, Christian Louboutin. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, I am not allowed. That's the problem. And that's what even causes the hideous nature of reality. There's your reconstructive plastic surgery. So I am then either they unplug and they're free-range free agents to be scooped up like sand people and or not the Ewoks, the sand people from the first Star Wars, R2D2 and C3, Dio, or Soul. So they are then scooped up, rebranded, reprogrammed, rebrainwashed, and then they're trying to deem that. That's the representational side of machinery, representational side of magic plastics, which are all based upon this symbiosis upgraded plug, which they do not pay for, called Max Profit, or the pimp masters that are holding my slave papers, which just happens to be a college degree worth billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars because they allow themselves to be plugged into. They're happy where they are, but they have to keep me real small as far as to be reverent to as many people as possible. So the beauty shop that I provide is a slave for anything that goes wrong for the master, the infallibility, body snatcher, organ theft, share masters, because they gambled on using the hot. They all wanted Ferrari. It's like, well, rather than going with Ford, they went with the Shelby Cobra. That's really what it is. It's like the Shelby Cobra, which is a very, very expensive car. So you've got the mob is valuing themselves as Shelby Cobras and Ferraris, rather than a Ford Mustang, even, which would be reverent. They are not. So they're valuing that, and I provide the difference and the beauty shop and the infallibility to justify the perpetuation of the value system. See, when there's a gap, that's where I think the beauty shop comes in theoretically. Of course, this is all theoretically, but hey, what else do I have to do with this? Wasting away the prime of my life to be ruined. That's the marathon wrestling that is entire life, from birth to now. They're winning, but they are hooked. I mean, literally. That's where I'm going to go next, is the opportunity lost in this beauty shop, wrestling, stranglehold, addiction, drug addiction. It really is. And it's worse than cocaine and heroin addiction, in my estimation, because of the cost inflicted upon society, which was then, therefore, they're trying to justify as reverent to the cost based on society. But this is much worse. Unless they take over the world and become world domination gods, which is very, very, very unlikely. I mean, it's a long shot. Eventually, it's going to recess. And when it does, then they're going to say, well, who's responsible for this damage? It's not, they're trying to claim it's a tsunami act of God, high tide, and the water level is holding up, but eventually I think the water level has to recess to a degree, or there has to be compensation for the salvage. I got to understand that to a degree. So, yep, beauty shop, yep, the Target, rather than the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, when I should be the one person that should be allowed to wear nice things, because then it therefore programs the entire state to evolve, rather than this is programming the state to be a bunch of minimum wage workers, basically. That is motive. That's what they want. That's the slaughter. That's the spam, spiced ham beauty shop. For the entire state of Louisiana is paying for. That's where you get into the crazy Fran Tarkenton Uggers. The Ugga beauty shop weapon. The uglier they are, the more I pay. That's a smart ugly. They get to be as ugly as they want, party as hard as they want, get wasted, and I pay. Woohoo! Because they are using a stolen wallet. Yeah, they cannot afford this. They know that. They cannot afford what they are spending, so it is a fight to the death. That was why it is health care. Now you got health care involved, and that's why the laws involved. They cannot afford what they are spending, so it's health care to not pay your bill. And then they tie it in. I mean, they have way overspent. The problem is they have to wreck a lot of things. Yeah, so these people are not worth ruining my image because they cannot afford it because of the lost opportunity. So rather than Louisiana evolving properly to be a sound structural entity, it is just being wasted and trashed by a bunch of worthless posers. Sacred, holy cow! These Chicago, the Omegas, Iowa. So, revenge for that, too, which I've always been sort of, I've never really been a favorite in baseball. I've always been a fan of whatever. So, never really got real particular into it. Even though I pay. What a crazy, crazy flow. So you got to factor in the lost opportunity for these sacred posers to save face. And that's your LEMPathetic. Limp biscuit. That's me. Limping around. And then they're even trying to desecrate my potency because they don't want me to pull. That's when I'm being humiliated. That's why we've got to. The sweat lodge, uncool. Lester Bangs, banging me to death. So there will be no reciprocity. So we got to whittle away a muscle that I have. As far as like the Kaiser Sose, who was limping around until they started walking straight. So they don't, they've got another Mythbuster race. That's the crazy, crazy part about being the ball, spalding, or Titleist, or Pinnacle, be the ball. I get whacked, I get the pain, I get the booleemia from all the shaken, not stirred, killing James Bond by J.W. Pepper and Sweat Lodge hot sauce. Pepper spray for the Bears, who are, they hate math. Bulls and the Bears are a math formula. They want it max bull, they want the party rocket, and they want to kill all the bears. Gummy bears, rot your teeth, sugar, chop off your feet, basically, so it's going to be a drowned water world, so you can swim. Schools they're going to be the sharks, I guess, or the whale boats or something like that. So, yeah, and yeah, they do not like that's the pepper spray for the bears. I guess it is, in my estimation. So the math they hate. They do not like paying their bills. They figure out loopholes. That's once again the Trojan loophole within me based upon the legality of it and the validation of these communal symbiosis posers who do not pay a cent for what they are getting. It's just free. They think it's just free. Yet, the estate, which they obviously do not care about, is decimated for free range roundup. Go fetch them some global asset bills. Problem is, it's the horrific long-term downside is going to be a nightmare. Haunted. So the beauty shop lost opportunity. So rather than preparing for the future, I have to beauty shop these sacred posers who have figured out ways to keep me hostage. Well, you've got protect the public. So the law is trying to protect the guilty gamblers. They're trying to protect the guilty symbiosis dope lab. And this is all based upon several different entities. Alcoholic, gambler, dope fiends. So the healthcare is trying to rectify their situation rather than pay their bills or allow me to protect myself and my assets. So the beauty shop or anything that goes wrong is then desecrating because of the vulnerability, is then desecrating the global estate, and then therefore the system itself looks validated rather than solving the problem because they do not want real competition in this arena. They would sacrifice Europe. They would kill Europe in order to avoid Latin America growing up. Louisiana and Latin America have this parish symbiosis, so rather the symbiosis was hijacked and diverted into all different sorts of channels. It's diverted into Dallas, diverted into Houston, diverted into Atlanta, diverted into Nashville, diverted into Arizona, all over. And so the Mississippi River is an octopus. And Louisiana is a mud hole full of crawfish, sacred, almighty crawfish, communal solidarity, brother crawfish, who refuse to grow up because they do not want to pay anything. They would not they are so valuable they would bankrupt Europe rather than sacrificing for their sins. Penance, reconciliation. Oh, holy Christ. That's where you get into the Mardi Gras perpetual where I pay. So they don't really believe in Lent. Personally, they'll go through the motions. They'll go through the rituals, but they don't really believe in it. I pay for their Lent. I pay for the Mardi Gras. The compensation, that's what I'm doing right here, for they play sides over here. They're playing it very poorly. Once again, it's the negative inverted pyramid rather than the pyramid of hierarchy, respect, and rational judgment. So they use these, they've imposed these sacred posers upon it, further validating the replication, the representative, why I am the repulsive source to validate. That's the beauty shop for those that are then usurping my power. Then I've got to be empathetic. LEMPathetic, limp biscuit. So yeah, LEMPathetic, limping around. J.J. Walker, that's the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, because they are trashing the planet. They're trashing my estate, which then creates a cause and effect reactionary, Newtonian reactionary physics, like a program a mainframe and it programs the networks which are connected, which they are trashing. So that's why Louisiana, this prime time, allowed Louisiana to be massively trashed. So rather than, that's where the Old South is a fucking retard joke. their old South is really, they are in shit. They really are. They are worshiping Yum Brand, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Taco Bell. But they don't want no immigrants. They want their Taco Bell. They want their cake and not eat it too. That's the funny part about Taco Bell, I guess. They want, that's the crazy part about it. They want me to pay. They want the best, and I get all the worst. That's the agony and ecstasy. Bait and switch. Diversion canal. So they get the good, clean, fresh water, and I get the waste. And that's why Louisiana is a mud puddle full of a bunch of solidarity crawdads. And they're going to get massacred. And I'm trying to warn them. I'm trying to protect them in the future. But they think by playing it, as soon as my kidnappers are strong enough, they will attack, like Independence Day. As soon as they realize right now, they do not have the game. It's still in question. The contest is still in question. They do not have the majority. They don't have a dominant majority. As soon as they have a dominant majority, Louisiana will be massive. No doubt about it. Wiped out. Massive. They will be relegated to the runt joke pygmies of the SEC, who are then the old South are worshiping Almighty God. They're sacred. The government that they have. The government and the machines, these corporate machines, which is, I am for corporations. The problem is there's no balance here. Any corporation would agree with me, unless they're nefarious, chicanery, malicious fraud. Because, I mean, there's greed. The greed has got to be addressed to a degree. You know, they can get as much as they want, but a lot of them are top heavy as it is. And they've got to realize there's going to be revenge in the future, in my estimation. So, the hacker toxic wardrobe and the poison horse. Mama's boy, Ole Miss. That's the joke. I don't understand this old South mentality. Well, it's like, they conned the Greek system, which it's based upon estates. They sold them for, I guess it's Lily Pulitzer, their dope labs, pretty much. And they sold them into worshiping the system. They did not play sides at all. They had the opportunity. They could have played sides, but they did not. That's where my sister's kidnapping was. That's why my sister's kidnapping, brainwashing, not only the Greeks. My sister has brainwashed the Greek system. My sister brainwashed the Catholics, and my sister brainwashed the Jews against math. They really did. She is going to be considered one of the worst weapons of mass destruction in the history of the world. Literally. So they followed her because my family was brainwashed and kept unseemly. As far as we were not able to grow up. We paid our dues, but they would not allow us to grow up. Not only would they not allow us to grow up, my aunts and my contribution to the state was not enough. They wanted to screw me too. So they had to screw me, and even though my family had paid for decades as far as being loyal state employees, that was not enough. They needed to up their dope fees. So by plugging me into the bottom of the scheme, it increases their level of dope, which is super steroid, opiate, speed. It's like a speedball. You know, it's heroin and opium. And then you've got the speed factor. Then you've got the steroid growth to make it look like you're not a skinny dope fan. So yeah, they've got this massive cocktail. I guess it's a triple cocktail of dope. I mean, it's really human growth hormones, huge. And then you've got radioactive mutations. Then you've got the serious opiate addiction, and you've got the speed and the meth, speed and legally, and some of it's legal, some of it's not. But that's what I provide as far as the virtual reality matrix mutated characters worshiping this grid. That's where the Greek system screws They worship the Matrix characters rather than, and I was massacred, hacked by the system to be relegated low, low, low priced. Steal of a deal of the century. Chasing life. So, yeah, they hacked me down way, 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 way down as the Omegas, and then therefore everybody is worshiping the OMG EA Sports, fuels, gas. So yeah, it's the machines that are worshiping. That's why All Saints Day is affiliated with Mercedes-Benz, and while I am lower than Volkswagen, I'm the bike pants, Murray bikes, Joe, as you would. So, questioning of, all right, where am I? That covers the beauty shop. So, the beauty shop and the joke going south. So, rather than preparing, see, optimally you would have manor homes, and then you would have subdivisions, towns, and countries. But instead, you've got the massive feedlots that are these huge subdivision mansions and country clubs. So you don't really have any manor homes and lords. You have these clubs, which do not have, and there's no real authority hierarchy. It's just a massive swarm. It's a very high-priced, massive swarm. But yeah, there is no manor home. There are no lords. There are no castles. Louisiana needed to build castles and manor homes. You can call them, you don't, the stigma of plantations, but call them a manor home, call it a castle, call it an estate, call it a chateau, whatever. But you have to have some hierarchy. Otherwise, it turns into this massive competitive. There's a great show with David Duchovny, Jennifer Connelly, and several others in it called Keeping Up with the Joneses, which is very appropriate because the Jones Family Reunion, one of the bands I booked at SMU, and my sister was there from the Acme music company. And it was more dealing with the Looney Tunes and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And then, because I don't even think I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit until later on. So the, that's the acid thing. That is a very pertinent, relevant, metaphorical context to A&M agriculture and the flipping of the M and the N. Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future, being a tune and hiding, which is an M. See, ink-generated creation that's what I am the beauty shop because of the infallibility complex of the tunes, as you would, these cartoon creations, these ink-derived creations, which rely upon that's the competitive scene. The problem is the land has been created because I have been captured by the mechanical side to increase their dosage potency, then therefore the land is decimated, level. So rather than sedimentary, you've got a bunch of metamorphic. That's where you get into the super volcano under the Grand Tetons who are worthless. So yeah, it's just bad logic, and I've said it all before. So handicapping as far as poisoning. Oh yeah, then you've got the teams of sacred livestock. And I don't mean to be degradational. I am pissed off. I've been kidnapped a long time. I am hungry. I have no options. And I know this is stupid. This is real stupid. It's the joke of the sacred paparazzi and the Fellini revenge, La Dolce Vita. Bicycle thief. Once again, getting back into the sacred fuels that are derived from Omega's hack. So yeah, the Sika bicycle thief. All this rank game scam. So yeah, I know this is stupid. Me having to beg people to listen to me to try to generate enough interest to try to escape because they are so efficient at picking my pocket and stealing my identity. So yeah, they cannot afford to ink me, but they are cash rich. That's where you get into the Cash Money Brothers and the that is a not a degradation, that is a truism. But the beauty shop hates the truth. So that's when you get into I am a reconstructive plastic surgeon. And I have been kidnapped and brainwashed and hacked for so long that I am stupid in many ways. I admit it. I am not very smart. I suffer from bad ADHD. When I am on the medicine, it makes me a totally different person. I don't know what it is. It's a true disease. I'm living in a fog bank, and I just can't focus, and I get really depressed and all that sort of thing, which is a normal symptom of ADHD. So, you've got all these sacred cash entities that are trying to digest me like a swarm of locusts or a swarm of piranha attacking. There was even in the toy, Richard Pryor walked on water when Jackie Gleason had stocked his creek with piranha, and he had eaten them. And that's kind of So, but we're talking about big entities that are acting on trying to digest me. This goes back, but they cannot, because they do not have the body or to digest me. So then the result is trashed Louisiana, Dairy Queens everywhere. And I don't mean the degradation. That's just a symbol of communality, a commune symbol, because there is no real leader. It's a shared entity. So therefore, rather than having a manor house, estate, castle structure, you are forced to, the digestive tract leaves this. And if you look at long-term ramifications, which is going to mutate based upon the connectivity of technology to a degree, the problem is they really can't afford to digest it. I'm too big for them to eat. They can't afford it. Even though I am very poor and they are very rich. It may look, in the Matrix, it may look plausible, but they cannot afford it. So Aspen trying to eat me is destroying Louisiana at prime growth time. So they wasted, and Georgia did the same thing, which is one of the worst historical states. They basically killed themselves, because Georgia should be based upon the A&M structure. It's a land-grant college, and they have sold their soul to Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets. Really, they have. They've sold their soul. They went hard into the pro Falcons, like the animosity against the Saints. Whereas I pay because of Arthur Blank and the Mississippi River and the Federal Reserve. They're both involved in my bank in some capacity. Home Depot being the individual, rather than, if you're going to have individual wealth, the problem is they got greedy. They realized that if you have a manor house and you have estates and you have castles, then there will not be as much wealth involved in the individual. Healthy, but they do. Their idea of healthcare is competitive eating. Literally, it's like Wally. It really is. They're very robust in their chairs. They can't move because that's the sacred machine worshiping fuel. Cash manipulated revolution. So the cash money crowd creates the anarchy revolution. So they're trying. The anarchy revolution is trying to digest me, and we're talking about that's the real problem globally when you look at why they need this reconstructive plastic surgery, because of they're already the richest people in the world, but that's not enough, because they are proud. They do not want to pay anything for their luxury. They want free luxury goods. Yeah, they're paying themselves for their luxury goods, but they're not really paying their bills. So they want their free luxury goods, super valued, and magic. They refuse to pay anything. The problem is, and then they're trying to eat like Louis Vuitton. They're trying to eat Christian Dior, because they do not pay. they will not allow them. They're holding hostages. That's the joke. They're holding us hostages, and we are trying to manage the estate. So they will not allow them to pay us, and they will not pay us, but they will not allow us to manage the estate. They allow this commune mob, the country club commune mob, and so therefore it's creating a misnomer in the force. So they will not allow us. They will, and then they torture them for any pride. Their pride is them trying to help us manage the global estate. That's the crazy, crazy part about it. That's your lympathetic, empathetic, trying to cut off the sirens and alarms. So by their pride towards us is actually trying to help us manage the global estate to maintain the stability of their structure, which the United States is trying to eat their structure. That's the marble beef. That's the Italian marble beef. They're trying to eat all them old, or they're Greek. Oh, that's a gyro. We're going to eat them Greek gyro. Thousands of years age for the sacred gods of the world. USA country clubs to digest. Where their jaws teeth. Killing James Bond. And J.W. Pepper Spice. So yeah, thousands of years. They were made so the USA could eat them. That's how damn special they really are. Woohoo! That's just some special marble steaks. Literally. That is what is going on. That is how crazy ugly this is, and I have to be the beauty shop for it. Reconstructive plastic surgery means anarchy revolution. So this individual pride, perceptions are not reality, but they did not learn that lesson because I have been beaten down so bad for so long, they cannot, and they have done so much blow that they have lost. You know, when you do, or I hear it, when you do a lot of blow, you lose any feeling in your face. They've done so much cocoa bush cocaine from Eli Lilly Pulitzer, cocoa bush, that they cannot, they've lost their sense. They got that cocaine, that Beck's cocaine nose job. They've lost their sense of smell. So they cannot smell true blood, even though it is. They've done so much cocaine, so much cocoa bush cocaine, that they have, and cocaine, the transition from cocoa bush to cocaine uses gasoline in the process. Wow. Once again, M&A. So they've done so much of this blow that they have lost their sense of smell and their sense of taste. So they cannot tell what of smell. Even though they're true bloods everywhere, they cannot, or they just do not care. They're so crazy. That's the predator that is created in this cocaine. Well, it's their chemical cocktail, their triple cocktail. Magic Johnson dodged a triple cocktail which is part cocaine, part heroin, and part human growth hormones from nootropic. Nutley nootropic. Roach pharmacy. These are all jokes, if you will. This is all speculative, kidnapped interpretation, legality of trying to save these crazies. And I have no option. So, yeah, the plastic surgery, because they cannot feel their face, they cannot, so they're trying to digest it, even though they cannot smell the blood, because they feed their kids blow from an early age, and they allow their kids to get away with anything. So they feed me their kids, because they got so much, they're so crazy. So much cocoa bush, Eli Lilly Pulitzer. And you got to look at I'm talking about the representational causality, reactions, and representational nature of this. Not necessarily that's where you get into the virtual reality matrix and reality. I'm not saying there's a bunch of kids out there that are, but I'm not saying that everyone's, but in the virtual reality matrix, they're chemical cocktail. Then the transition from virtual reality to infallibility beauty shop. That's what we're going at right now. So they weren't happy with just imagination. They wanted the transition to reality. So yeah, they're trying to digest me because I'm just laying here. You got a bunch of nobodies that are trying to digest me. And so that their digest, they cannot afford to pay for it, first of all. So they're hunting and killing pride and trophy poachers. They do not believe, that's once again, while my family is in danger. These crazy psychotic poachers are going to try to breed us cheap to eat us next generation, Duck Dynasty. So they're going to try to breed us cheap and degradation and degrade us in order to make it cheaper to eat us in the next. They're trying to feed their kids and good meat for public schools, yeah. So yeah, they're trying to breed us cheap because. So rather than growing up bigger and stronger, we're being bred worse in order to be ate by the future generations. Praise Jesus, or praise Almighty Cocoa Bush gods, Eli Lilly Pulitzer. Yeah, praise Almighty Old South gods, Kentucky Fried Chicken Yum Brands. Praise Almighty gods, the Dairy Queen for the Old South. And praise it. It's crazy. So they've got artificial hearts because they have heart attacks. So they replace it. They get parts of mind. That makes them even crazy. And they don't pay a fucking cent. It's all based on kidnapping going through the head. So yeah, then you got the siphon infections, divert assets, to bury the bodies. So yeah, you got all these crazies that are allowing their kids to try to eat me. They're figuring out ways. That's what universities are trying to figure out ways to eat me. But I am a global estate, and they cannot. And the only way they can afford this is attack. It's just bad logic. So yeah, they got a rider. It once again goes back to the big gamble. They gamble that they can play Dr. Moreau, the island, the castaway island of Dr. Moreau. Cast being like Indian, Nirvana, heroin addiction, Dr. Jindal. And so they take me, Alpha, and they move me down to Omega, and then the whole gap in between, it takes this time. System creator. That's why there's God is the system. And even though my power comes from globally, which they're then trying to transfer, utilizing the digestive factors of the massive. So they're trying to ride me as a joke or as a dare to prove they're brave, even though they don't pay a fucking cent. They think it's a communal rental scheme. I mean, literally. We're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars for a $25 rental. Crazy, crazy out of this world. Then they want this health care to try to save them, or they want the system to protect. Oh, that's the national security for riding this real billion and billion dollar safe word, which creates animosity because of the chaos, because of their flooding. It's like they blew out I'm like, if you think about a levee on the Mississippi River, they blew out one chunk of the levee, so they're just flooding. Drown, flood, magic. Solidarity, brother. So you got this haunting fear factory where you get into the Limp Mansion of St. Louis, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I'm the air conditioner. So they figured out that's the reverse osmosis, climate control, Truman Show Dome air conditioner. Make some cold beer from Pabst Blue Ribbon, Falstaff and Schlitz. Yeah. Budweiser. Praise Almighty Jesus, Spud McKenzie there. So you got these big gamblers, risk-managed daredevils, and they occupy the house, and which always wins, which is really, but they're not paying their bills. It's like that Goodfellas scene where they took over this bar, they went in, and this is all Goodfellas revenge too. This is all revenge what they're making us pay for anything that went wrong in the past, because they're untouchable masters who are teaching us public school lessons, so they're eating me for public school. So you got the house always wins. The Occupy house is good. They don't pay their liquor bill at all. They do not pay for the liquor. Then the organ thieves use me to digest the hangover. then they do not pay for their dope. They do not pay for their gambling. It's all free. It's like you order on my account, then it goes out the back door, then they resell it. So they're getting double jeopardy. Jew down judge. So then they got they're getting paid twice. So they don't pay their bills, first of all. They're trying to bankrupt my estate for not paying their bills because I am not smart enough to play this game to a kidnapper terrorist escape game. So then they resell on the back end in the salvage. Double jeopardy. Woohoo! Getting paid. So yeah, they rob me and then they gamble on this risk managed daredevil. So they did not build a bridge. Let's see. Anything else that I might think of today? Brave skippers. Going down. Oh, that's once again the lesson learned. And the problem is the wealthy do not allow me. They just allow this to happen. And the mob, I mean, it's like having, literally, they can do whatever they want with it. So you've got the mob, which I think it's a low country boil. And I warned them about this long ago, but they still did nothing to help me escape. When I am hemorrhaging cash right now. I've been stabbed and shot and speared so many times that every day I'm losing billions of dollars or whatever. I don't know. So by just leaving me here bleeding is criminal it is by doing nothing you're joining the mob. So you've got the wealthy lock me out because they pray to their Cocoa Bush kids and their Eli Lilly Pulitzer and their Dairy Queen Jesus and their saviors because they're proud. They refuse to not be the masters. Fighting to be the masters. Kill these crazy people. Especially when I'm the public golf course. They're playing to be the masters. Crazy. That's why the Masters is not like the U.S. Open, which is an open tournament where you can play into. You can't play into the Masters unless you're a professional already. So you got a bunch of public hackers that then the Caddy tournament, which they're playing on me, and they're spending money from the Masters banks. And the Masters are not smart enough or they're brave enough to challenge to allow this to happen. That's where you get really crazy. So they refuse to rectify the situation and allow me to manage the estate. So then it just keeps getting compounded interest. The most dangerous force in the universe, as Einstein said. So they just keep it's compounded disinterest against me to borrow against my estate, and this compounded interest that the good fellows never pay off because they're all legalized, legitimate. Well, if the mob is allowing it to happen, then it must be legitimate. Praise Almighty Popeye of gods. Fame is magic, or fame is godly in the public arena. But in the private arena, it's not necessarily so. That's where you get into the bait and switch. Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, and me, Goodwill, lower than for the people VW. Public butts, that's the revenge beauty shop. Airbus. Joke. Cats, as you would. Greyhound. Even though their math does not, it's criminal, the corrupted math that they're using to justify this as a beauty shop pride for the symbiosis of me being kidnapped and shot and not allowed to manage my estate competently. And my entire family, while we're being bred weaker to be it by the next generation, rather than being bred stronger to protect them because they screwed us and they refuse to pay anything. They are never wrong because Jesus forgives. And there is no penance, no reconciliation, no atonement. They pay nothing. They just get the Mardi Gras fun and we pay for the Lent. They don't. They get the Playboy Easter Bunny. They take a nap for Lent. They don't pay anything until Playboy Easter Sunday rise. There's no ascension. The lords are not allowed to ascend because we're their doormen, because they're to make their club so damn special, you know. That's how special we are. We got this guy, Global VIP, serving us and waiting on us and paying our bills and babysitting our stupid kids and holding the door. The Sunshine Bridge bait and switch ascension loophole wells, Assumption Ascension, Bayou Corn, Texas brine, sinkhole, magic, dungeon. That's the dungeon matrix there. The sinkhole is Bayou Corn, start the salt dome, as you would. So they refuse. They do not even allow me to ascend because then I could manage the estate. So I got to stay out and hold the door, be the welcome mat for all them, to make them all super, super special club. That's the Reese Jones scalpers there to make their club super, super, super global special. Praise Almighty Jesus, the Almighty God of the World Masters. Playing both sides poorly. You're not paying your bill on either side, you deadbeat fucking bum. So I gotta be the ball and get whacked, spalding. So not only I'm on the master's balls, I gotta be the spalding bubble boy for the shaken nut stirred booleemia upchuck slots machine. That's crazy, just plain crazy. Hey, but you can put any. That's why the political system is not to be worshipped. Whatever infectious disease trend of the day needs to, that's why they launder the money. That's why they put in these politicians that allow them to launder the money. Rather than, and then they complain about the immigration crisis. They're the ones that it's like they chopped off the head and all the blood that's flowing into the country because the headless horseman, Sleepy Hollow, Sleeping Beauty. You can't imagine. Mexico's lost control. Oh, it's revenge. We're going to teach you revenge lessons for not because we're faster and smarter. Yeah, you're going to eat your Italian, your French marble steaks. You're so damn valuable. I mean, it's just bad life. Hey, you're fucking. You got to make me lympathetic, empathetic. Sling blade. Crazy. I don't understand it. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? So. That'll be enough for today. Another wasted day in paradise. Nothing accomplished.